It's the planet's ultimate game.
It's Carvajal's cross. Rodrigo. Oh, extraordinary. They prayed for miracles, and miracles arrived. Real Madrid, the team of dreams.
Xhaka's corner shot. A game of the Arsenal bench. This is the lead.
Would the tilted? Guess who's never went away?
It's 2-1. A phenomenon.
What's happening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Final Third. It's me, Sam, aka FIFA Brit, and I am joined by Mr. Brad Thomas. The international break is behind us. We had some good times, we had some bad times, and it is very much time for the proper football, the proper soccer to be back. So I'm looking forward to it. What about you, Brad? Did you have a good international break?
Wait, it was like the worst and best thing that ever happened. At the beginning, I was like way over aggressive, I guess. And I was like making really bad bets. And then I was like, okay, Brad, slow it down. And then started hit a couple of like bigger plays later in the international break, which was nice. But man, I was like super excited to have club back, because the international, you only know so much, you only can do so much. And like some of the games you're playing are such jokes where you're just like, I can't bet on this. Or like you see a player that you want to target and they have no props for that game. And
Yes,
like
fucking Kerem Aktürkoğlu, whatever his name is.
yeah, I saw you.
The Turkish guy who, I mean, I've been on this guy for like over a year. Like he was an absolute moneymaker during Champions League last season. And because like when he starts, he just rips shots. He's like so automatic. Like I cashed a full ladder on him against Bayern. I think he took 3 first half shots in like, I think literally the first 12 minutes. And it was like,
that's beautiful.
3 was like 18-1 or something gorgeous like that. And I was just like, yo, this guy fucks. And I love it so much. But now the problem with Arda and your Juventus boy Yildiz coming into the team is Aktürkoğlu doesn't start all the games, which is really frustrating. And they had shot props listed for the first game that they played in the international break. And of course, he didn't start. And I was just like, I guarantee you he starts the second game. Starts the second game. No shots props listed because it's not like one of the quote unquote major games, because they weren't. I think they only list it for like the British teams, like France. Like what? I don't know why we're getting like shots props on the Republic of Ireland versus Greece, but we can't have it on like Turkey or something like that. That's stupid.
Yeah.
And then not only does he get 3 first half shots, the motherfucker scores a hat trick. And I'm just like, God damn it. And to be fair, could I have taken his goals? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But sometimes I don't think in terms of goals. I think in terms of shots. And I know this guy shoots. So I was like, I want to bet his shots. And when I couldn't, I just said, all right, screw it. I guess I'm not touching that game. And then he goes and scores a hat trick. So that really pissed me off. Meanwhile, I'm betting on, I've got half a unit on Kane to get 3 first half shots, which was like almost plus 300, which should be a fucking layup.
Oh my God.
And he gets 2 in like 20 minutes. And then like who are we playing? Finland. The Finnish defenders turned into Maldini because Saka was whipping in fantastic crosses. And these defenders just kept coming in and just like locking Kane out of it. So the ball didn't even get to him. And then of course, because, it wouldn't be one of my shots bets if I didn't have something not controversial. It wasn't that bad, but the last kick of the half was a free kick, or it was it was a cross. It was a back post Saka cross, and Kane jumps up and heads it, and it goes up instead of towards the goal. Yeah. And I'm just like, is that not a shot? Are we not going to count that? I guess not. Because it's frustrating because. But then what else is he trying to do?
The free kick too was pretty shit because Trent Alexander-Arnold took it, and then they got a free kick again later in the
2 minutes.
In the second half.
Yeah. And I wasn't upset about Trent taking a free kick. I was like, okay, fair enough. Trent has been taking free kicks, and he's a specialist. He's very good at them. But then seeing Kane take one from the same spot 2 minutes into the second half, I'm just like, what the fuck? Why couldn't he take the last one? So that was annoying. But and then of course I had a lotto that I played, which was Havertz for 2 first half shots, Xavi Simons for 2 first half shots, and then I had it with Kane for 2 because I didn't want to like double down on 3. Had it for 2. That was 18-1. Cashed out of it and went for what I thought was better value, quote unquote, and went with Sammy Smodics, who's my boy, who was like plus 200 for 2 first half shots, and that boosted it up to like 35-1. And I was just like, okay, that's nice, that's spicy, and I've got action on Kane, so I'm reducing my overexposure here. And then Sammy gets 1, ends on 1. And Kane got 2 easily. And I was like, literally, if I'd played the Havertz, Xavi Simons, and Kane for 2, it would have cashed 20 minutes into the half.
I couldn't believe everyone parlayed my shot props. They're all sharing tickets, and I was just like, you have to be kidding me. Like, I think $50 won you like $1,000, and I was
that's wild.
That's brutal.
Yeah. To be fair, I love it when that happens. Like, I love it when we put out a podcast episode. Yeah. And someone will tag me on Twitter and be like, "Thanks for all the reads, Sam." And they'll literally have everything I mentioned. I'll just be like, "Huh, that's really smart. Why the fuck did I didn't do? Why didn't I do that? Why didn't I do that? That's everything. Everything I said is right there."
Why didn't I do that?
Yeah, but it's nice though, because I'm just like, hey, look, people are getting value out of the podcast, and they're going to come back for more. They think we're smart, which is always nice.
It's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly. And it's all a learning process. I sort of the Euros helped a lot because I sort of revamped how I approach my ladders, because I didn't really do ladders. I mean, to be fair, I think I now have enough data that I can bring back the first half shot builders, but I haven't touched first half shot builders since the beginning of the domestic season, just because we don't really have that much data. Whereas I have been doing ladders, and they've been fun.
You say that. So Euros, I was playing builders all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the first 2, maybe it was the first week of the season, I was doing builders, and I was like, these are not going well. And so I stopped doing the builders. I was like, if I can't get plus money on them, I'm not even gonna do it. But it makes sense. Like, we don't have the data on it. And I'm the kind of guy who, when I do my shot props, first thing I go to FB Ref. I see how many shots this shit team is letting up. Then it goes straight into the individual data. We don't have that yet.
It's a bummer.
Yep.
It's the way it is. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Or I'm gonna have to start doing it myself, like I do all my first half shot stuff, which is time consuming to say the least. But then meanwhile, you find yourself playing the builders, and then you realize, Christian Eriksen's taken 2 first half shots in every fucking game he's played since the beginning of the Euros. Genuinely, I don't think he's had less than 2. Yeah. And all through the Euros, and in the 2 games since then that I was able to bet on during this international break, he's both times. It's beautiful, and they're finally starting to adjust it. I think it was like plus 170. I think when I took it on the last game, but I mean that shit during the Euros was plus 200.
He was a staple
against England. It was plus 500, and I was just like, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah,
I'm just like, give me that. That's beautiful.
The day that changed my bankroll was when I discovered from you first half shot props. I was like, I'm so hooked on these things. It's
fun. Well, I've always said that when I started doing them in Gold Boys during the 2022 World Cup, and I was just like, it's the equivalent of introducing crack into the community. Like you got people hooked, and it's like, because this is like, it's very common to see people they see a bet that like a big lotto that hits, and then they try and recreate that market with other games. I hit a first half shots banger, and then that less so now, because now people have been seeing it happen over the course of 2.5 years, and now people kind of get it. But in the early days, they were just slamming first half shots. I was looking through the Soccer Slips thread, and I was just like, why them? I was just like, well, I wasn't going to say anything. I was just like, this feels kind of random. It just feels like you want a first half shots bet. And then the same thing happened with first half goals. There was we had there's one guy in Soccer Slips, Doc, who hit this ridiculous first half shots. And I forget what it was. I think it was lower leagues England or something like that. Something I can't even bet on in New York.
Yeah.
And it was, I think it was like 2,000 or 3,000 to 1. Something absurd.
Oh my God.
Something absolutely obscene. And then all soccer slips for the next like month or two was other people just like parlaying first half goals. And I just like would look at the teams and just be like, they don't score like this. This team doesn't concede like this.
You see a lot of people post like the Italian ones, and then the game, the first half has like 3 combined shots.
Yeah, I'll be like, and even, I mean, to be fair, I can't comment on that because I still go back to La Liga first half shots like a fucking madman. And to be fair, it's hard to pass up on a guy like Brian Heel to get like 2 first half shots at plus 500. You're like, I'll take that. And then Girona had like 3 first half shots total, and he had 2 of them. So I was just like, thank you very much. That was terrible to watch, and I never want to do it again.
It's always funny. It's like you change my mentality. I'll be like doing my shot prop research, and I'm like, I wonder what their first half shots numbers are.
Yeah, that one you got to do a little bit more digging. Well, for the most part, shots do tend to correlate well with first half shots, but some guys are especially aggressive in the first half.
Yes,
and also it helps because one, you can play them basically 99.99%. You can play them without risk of being screwed over by lineups because the odds of them getting not starting but then subbing in during the first half are very unlikely. And if they don't sub in the first half, my goodness, these sirens are loud. Every time I swear we start recording, they're just like, yeah, let's drive past Sam.
This is crazy hours. That's why.
Yeah. But no matter when we record. But what was I saying? Now they got me distracted. But some guys are particularly aggressive, and some guys just like, it doesn't really matter. But you're basically insured from taking them, days in advance because they're not going to sub in during the first half unless someone gets hurt, which is unlikely.
Yep.
And sometimes it's just nice. Also, you might not know how long they play in the second half. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's like the worst is when you're on someone's shots and you only need 1 shot and they come out like 10 minutes, 15 minutes after the first half. And you're like, oh, that's brutal.
Because and that's what's brilliant. And people sort of forget that. They look at, shot volume and, a lot of, if you're smart, you look at data per 90, because that's a good way of looking at it. Now you can get some skewed numbers on like super subs. Like if you ever look at like, you sort a league table on, you go to FB Ref and you sort the league table by shots per 90, and you'll always see some random guy on like 10 because he subbed in for like 5 minutes and took 2 shots, and it's just like, oh yeah, okay, so ignore that number. But for, you can kind of tell the consistent guys. But the problem with taking shot numbers per 90 is you need them to fucking play 90 minutes. And there's unless we're talking like big name players like Harry Kane, probably going to play 90 minutes, But there are certain guys like Bukayo Saka for Arsenal, probably going to play 90 minutes. But Martinelli, no, not so much. If Trossard starts, Trossard's not playing 90 minutes. Martinelli will come off the bench, or maybe Raheem Sterling will come off the bench now. So you then have to be like, okay, how many minutes are these guys going to play? You don't have to worry about that for the first half shots market because and barring an injury, they are playing 45 minutes plus added time. There's no concern about that market for that player ending sooner than it's supposed to. They're going to play that first half. And, at that, then you kind of have to be like, okay, how's the first half going to play out? Because then the counteract to that is the first half might be a little bit more cagey, and then it picks up in the second half, which is a very common game script. But it's having that certainty of, okay, I'm getting 45 minutes and anything after that is a bonus is very nice, especially when you're dealing with players that are going to be aggressive.
Yep.
Whereas you don't get that for full game props, but you get the insurance of lasting after halftime. Like Eze, for example, week 1, when I took him for 3 first half shots, he got 2, but robbed of the free kick. You bet him for, what was the line? 3? Just for 3 shots, which we'll never get again on Eze, by the way. So that was good. His line's 4 or higher now. And then he ended on 7 shots. And I think the other 5 came after the 80th minute. And it's just like, okay, swings and roundabouts. That's the way it's going to go.
Yeah. Well, hey, his line this weekend is 4, but it's like minus 135.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you right now, I'm on his first half shots because it's fucking Leicester.
Yep. I took his first half shots. I didn't ladder it though.
I did. I felt slightly aggressive because I don't respect Leicester, especially away from home. And also, he's only played one home game, and that home game, he took 3 first half shots easily. So, it's always good to trust the guy at home.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with that. So I guess this segues very nicely into our let's talk about the games for the weekend. I was going to start with the Prem anyway, so may as well start with Palace against Leicester. Didn't have anything else to talk about in the international break apart from the fact that I really enjoyed how England looked. My goodness, we looked so much better. We're actually taking shots.
Oh my God,
it's wonderful. Now finishing them, a different matter entirely. But you know what?
Hey, listen, you make money taking those shots, right?
Yeah, that's true. Apart from fucking Kane, who didn't get a third. But yeah, no, it was really nice. I think Saka had about 4, and everyone tagged me.
Oh my God!
Everyone tagged me. I was just like, "Why weren't you on Saka?" And I was just like, "Different team, guys."
Yeah.
This like England, especially after watching the first game, I was just like, England's strat is feed Kane right now.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. And then Saka took about 4, and I was just like, okay, cool.
And wait, he took 2 where like he could have just laid the ball off to Kane. Or no, he took 1 where Kane laid it off to him instead of shooting. And the other one
back post off a corner. Yeah, and I was just like, oh, have a go, Kane. You know you want to, but he didn't. So yeah, nothing else to talk about international break-wise. Let's dive into the weekend action. Premier League, starting with the best league in the world. And if you disagree with that, fight me on Twitter. I'm ready for it. Palace against Leicester. I said I'm taking Eze ladder for the first half shots. I will pull up the odds. It's plus 110 for 2 first half shots.
I got at plus 120.
Yeah, I was slow to it. The market opened on late on Wednesday, and I didn't pull the trigger, and I think it was like plus 130, which kind of upsets me. But I'll live with that.
It's okay. Plus 130 is really nice.
Yeah.
I took that as well.
So I did 2. I did 2 for two first half shots for plus 110 for 1 unit, and then for 3 first half shots at plus 360, I took for half a unit. So
I don't think I did 3.
If he only gets 2, I'll take what is that? 0.6.
Yeah,
0.6 units of profit, and then I think he's getting 3 just because I don't really respect Leicester, but I definitely think he's getting 2. So if he gets 2, I'll live with 0.6 units of profit if my math is right, which I think it is. And if he gets 3, then beautiful. I'm making like 2 units, I think.
Hell yeah.
Something like that. I'll take that.
Cooper man's gonna have them. They're gonna be playing. They're gonna be sitting deeper. They're gonna let Crystal Palace control possession. They've allowed a ton of shots too. That's why I like that a little bit more. Then like what's funny is I couldn't believe their Palace are minus 160.
Yeah, I mean Palace should win this. This is a must win. At home against Leicester. You need 3 points here, really. Yep. And I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen, but I'm really hoping they cook them the way they cooked Norwich in the cup. I really think they just have to go balls to the wall, rip shots. It's got to start clicking. If it can't click at home against Leicester, that's not good. That's a massive.
That's not
I like
as they too, because you're like, you have to get 3 here. Like, it's scary hours if you don't pick up 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you're not going to get, the harder matchups are going to be just around the corner. So you want to capitalize on that now.
Yep.
But yeah, we will see. I want to talk about Southampton against Man U, because Man U haven't won since the opening game of the season, where they scraped a win against Fulham. And since then, they've lost to Brighton and they've lost to Liverpool. Now, it's at, what is Southampton Stadium called? Did they change their? I thought it was is it St Mary's? Are they playing St Mary's? Yeah, it is St Mary's. I have like residual knowledge of stadium names, and then I call them that, and then I look it up, and I'm just like, shit, they haven't been called that since like 2010. They changed it. But yeah, so they have to go play away at Southampton. It's the early morning kickoff. Well, afternoon in England, but early morning for us. This also feels like a must win. Because I feel like you can't come away with a point and keep saying, okay, that's fine. We didn't lose. You're Man U, for God's sake. You should not be scared of Southampton. And I really think, I just think you need to rock up with Garnacho on the left wing, Diallo on the right wing. I've been saying this several times in our podcast already. Garnacho left wing, Diallo right wing, Bruno attacking mid, and if Xerxes healthy, play him up top. I need to see that lineup once.
Yeah.
Like that to me, that is the clear best lineup for this United squad. And I thought that they might do it last time because Garnacho was starting last time, but no, they dropped Diallo and played Rashford and then put Garnacho on the right wing. It's just like, nah, put Garnacho on the left wing, please. The first time Garnacho starts on the left wing, I am hammercocking his first half shots. It's ridiculous how aggressive he gets, turning it on his right foot. So I need that. I need that for this early morning kickoff.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I just can't bet United at -140 to win the game. That's gross.
Ew, that's gross. That makes me want to take Southampton on a double chance.
I think United corners is a good one, over 6.5. They hit that number like 75% at home. Southampton, 2 out of 3. I say 2 out of 3 because obviously the one where they were up a man doesn't count. 2 out of 3, the opponents hit their corner prop with ease.
Right. Yeah. That Newcastle game against Southampton is, well, at first I thought it was really throwing off the data because of course we only have like 3 games in the book, so there's the averages are all weird. And because after the first week, Newcastle had conceded the most shots in the league. But I tell you what, Brad, after 3 games, Newcastle have still conceded the most shots in the league on average. Really interestingly. Crazy. And this is only 2 seasons after their 2022 season when Newcastle were, apart from Arsenal, the best defense in the entire league.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they were a wagon 2 seasons ago. Last season they were injured, sure. And I know that Shah's been suspended, but I believe he's back for this game because this is game 4, and he got suspended, I believe, in the first week against Southampton. So he should be back by now. So I don't know if things, I'm not going to say they're completely washed, but the fact that I thought it was like a freak with the red card, it sort of continued. So
it did. It continued, which is really scary. It's like
it's interesting.
I saw that and I was like, man, it's got to be skewed. I saw it this morning and I was like, but how do we take advantage of it, right?
yeah. I'll tell you how we take advantage of it. We take Mateus Cunha first half shots for Wolves.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Cunha's been ripping them.
I believe, I'd have to double check because I don't remember how he did I don't think he played week 1. So you know what?
No, he didn't. He was injured.
He didn't play. He was injured week 1. So in that case, he's had 2 first half shots in both of his games because I think he had 4 against Chelsea. I mean, that first half of Chelsea Wolves was so fucking back and forth. That was one of the most electric, and I was pissed at myself because I just didn't. I took Palmer 3 separately, but then I paired him with Isak because I forget who Newcastle were playing, but I was expecting more of them, and he just didn't fucking shoot. And I
playing Tottenham.
Yes, something like that. And I don't really respect Spurs' ability to defend. So but like Cunha Palmer was right there for a 2-2 and 3-3, and I was just like, God damn it. But yeah, so Palmer's had 2 because then he had 2 the game before the international break. Again, I forget who they were playing, but I remember he had 2 because I had paired him with Mbeumo and Leon Bailey, and Mbeumo also got 2, and then Bailey came off injured for Villa after 15 minutes, which fucked me. So, but I remember that leg of the parlay being green. So, and I believe Cunha for 2 first half shots because Newcastle still got respect from the books, even away from home. And last year, especially towards the second half of last season, Newcastle were not good away from home at all. Maybe 2 or 3 shots in the first half when they were away from home, and they were letting up a lot. So Cunha, I believe, is around +165 to +170 for 2 first half shots.
Wow.
That feels like a half unit bet for me. That's
a good price.
That's tempting. It's very tempting.
What's Strand Larson 1 shot? -160 probably. Nah.
Who knows? Well, he's a big ass target man, so they can get a cross into him then.
Yeah, he's on my fantasy team. I'm never going to use him, but
right. He's a good play to have.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just the fact that Newcastle are +110 to win away from home is wild. But yeah, Mateus Cunha +160 for 2 first half shots. And if you like Strand Larson, he's +210 for 2 first half shots. But yeah, so that's how we take advantage of Newcastle. I didn't even have that game on my breakdown because I was just like, I'm not really sure how I feel about either of these teams right now. But I do like Mateus Cunha for first half shots if he starts. So there's that. A little bit of extra info there.
Oh, I see you got the Bournemouth. Excuse me. Everyone gets
Bournemouth.
Yeah. Bournemouth Bournemouth versus
Bravo.
Chelsea.
Yeah, this. I mean, I'm going to say this. I think about potentially every Chelsea game, but I got because in the notes you can see it. It just says Bournemouth Chelsea brackets banger. Now, to be fair, I said this for the Chelsea Palace game, which then was not really. Yeah, that one was disappointing. But Chelsea, I guess, is sort of decent at controlling possession at home now. This is different. Bournemouth are at home, Chelsea are away, and Bournemouth have some guys that love to shoot, particularly Antoine Semenyo, who I believe, if I recall correctly, I believe Semenyo has the highest shots per 90 in the entire Premier League right now. This man has taken 5.75. You know exactly where I'm going with this, Brad. And do you know what? Semenyo to take 5 shots against Chelsea is plus 500 on FanDuel. You can get him for like minus 120 to take 3 shots. Full game. That's a full game prop right there.
That is beautiful. I took him 3 at minus 108.
That's nice. Very nice. But yeah, I'm gonna throw that in because it's really interesting. He's one of those guys that is not necessarily a first half heavy guy. Like I believe in all 3 games of the season so far, he's taken 2 first half shots and then taken 3, or when the game he got 7, 5 shots in the second half. So now, to be fair, that's because they're not always coming from winning position, so they kind of have to shoot.
Yeah.
But interesting that we're getting such brilliant odds.
Yeah, but like he's even been like aggressive early when they weren't losing.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm like he's been aggressive. They're not losing, you know.
Yeah, and I believe he's also like plus 160 for 2 first half shots. I'd have to double check that, but yeah, it's very reasonable because I mean Chelsea are minus 105 away from home to win the game. I did not think I would see Chelsea at minus odds to win a game away from home for a long time. But yeah, Semenyo plus 165, 2 first half shots. He said it all 3 games so far this season. Pair him with Cole Palmer. Now we're getting a little spicy.
Well, this is what I was going to ask you. So the Chelsea line has been going all over the place. It was minus money, then up to like plus 105, plus 108. Now back to even money. What do you think about the outcome of the match?
This feels like a draw. It feels like a 1-1, 2-1. I feel like it'll be pretty exciting. You know, I would take both teams to score over 2.5. I think that's a pretty good look. I don't see Bournemouth aren't keeping a clean sheet. Chelsea aren't keeping a clean sheet away from home. And yeah, I mean, I just think it's going to be a very exciting game. I don't know. I might have said Chelsea's like squeaker win, but then seeing Bournemouth's ridiculous comeback against Everton. Now, to be fair, it's Everton at the end of the day, but still to win a game when you're 2-0 down in the 87th minute and to come back and win that game 3-2, that takes a lot of balls. That's a lot of resiliency. So I love that.
Funny. I was saying like I didn't think Bournemouth would be able to score, right? Like not like they wouldn't be able to score against Everton. I mean like the longevity of their club. They're not going to be a high scoring team, and they just went and scored 3 in like freaking 7 minutes. Yeah,
they have. I mean they've got some very solid players. Like without Solanke, I don't think they haven't got a superstar. They've got they brought in Evan Nilsson. That's a decent striker. They're still trying to figure out how to really integrate him into the attack. His shots haven't really been there, but their attacking midfielders, their wingers are all there's no one guy that stands out apart from maybe Semenyo, but that's because again I clocked him like a year ago as a guy that loves to rip shots. But they've got a lot of just like ballers, like Marcus Tavernier, baller, Luis Sinestra, baller. Even Ryan Christie, who can play as a defensive mid or as a winger. Love him a lot. When he's healthy, Tyler Adams, like boss. And then Semenyo, just absolute, like they got so many really like creative players. Django Utaro, who consistently gets prized as an outside back, but now he's playing as a winger for them. That's a lot of fun. And one day I'm going to cash a full ladder on this guy because his goals keep getting fucking VAR'd. The first 2 weeks he had 2 goals disallowed, both wrong, both incorrectly, or one should have stood. Like they got, because the first goal got disallowed because they drew a line from the shoulder and said, well, it was just past the shoulder and you can score with the shoulder, so he's offside. And everyone's like, okay, all right, fair enough. You can score with the shoulder. And then in week 2, he scored with his shoulder. And they were like, that's a handball. That goal doesn't count. And it was just like, hang on, last week you said you could score with the shoulder. So, like, one of those goals should have stood. But, you know, the Premier League referees, the one thing they don't like is consistency, Brad.
Yep. They don't. They said, we're going to do one thing this week, one thing another.
Yeah.
It's the yo-yo.
Yeah. But, like, Utara is priced at, like, plus 500 for 2 first-half shots. And if this man starts, he's playing as a right winger cutting in on his left foot. So,
yeah.
One day that's going to work out. And it's just like, I'm going to keep taking it until it does, because he'll take 3 one time and that'll be like plus 3,000. And I'll be like, yep, thank you very much. You just paid for all the other times I tried this.
Hell yeah.
But we'll get there eventually. But yeah, that game's really exciting. And then the last Premier League game I want to talk about is the North London derby, Spurs against Arsenal. Now, I'm fucking pissed about this for several reasons. One, financially, because the morning before Odegaard got his ankle taken out from behind him, I took Arsenal team total over 1.5 at minus 135. Now, that was a brilliant price that morning, Brad. That shit was like minus 150 everywhere else. Now it's closer to even money because our starting midfield, what should be our starting midfield of Marino, Rice, and Odegaard is now completely unavailable because Odegaard hurt his ankle. Rice, well, we talked enough about that red card last time. And Marino still hasn't played for us because he landed on his shoulder and like fractured his shoulder in his like second day at training, which was really fucking annoying. So now our midfield is most likely going to be Havertz playing at the 8, where Odegaard is, but on the left-hand side, and then a Jorginho party double pivot. So that's... I don't know how I feel about that.
I had said that because of that, you guys are going to literally... This is going to be such a low-scoring game. I just...
See, I don't know. You say that, but then you forget how ridiculously high Spurs' high line is.
Oh, my God.
And you've like, here's the thing. Our midfield, not brilliant. We're probably going to lose the ball in midfield. We're not going to be able to control possession the way that we usually do. That being said, our back line is still going to be Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Ben White with Raya in goal. That's a world-class defense. And our front three, you know, the only thing I'm not sure about is whether he's going to play Trossard at the 9 and Havertz in midfield, or Trossard in midfield, which he has done before, and keep Havertz at the 9, which I'd be fine with because Havertz has been scoring at a ridiculous rate recently. But either way, if Havertz is playing in midfield, we've got Trossard as a striker, we're going to have Martinelli on the wing on the left and then Saka on the right. And then we can just bring Raheem Sterling off the bench, which I guarantee you we're going to do because I don't think he's ready to start yet, but we will bring Sterling off the bench. You know, we'll be able to beat them for pace in behind if we play balls in behind this ridiculous high line. Yeah, which I don't think Ange will adjust to because he simply hasn't shown us that he can.
Doesn't adjust.
He doesn't adjust his high line at all. Yeah. And we've got pace up the fucking wazoo. And I guarantee you, an hour into the game, Trossard or Martinelli will come off, Sterling will come on, and that'll be the easiest live bet I've placed on a goal scorer ever because that would be the fucking dream introduction. Raheem the Dream Sterling off the bench to score in a North London derby. Yeah, inject that shit into my veins. I would love it. That being said, bias aside, this game is probably a draw. I think we should still be able to score 2 against this Spurs defense. They're not brilliant. And at that point, you just kind of have to hope that our back line is solid enough to compensate for any mistakes that are going to come from the midfield. And knowing Partey, and even though Jorginho is great, very smart, I still recall very vividly the stupid giveaway in the North London derby last year at the Emirates that I was at in London when we were up 2-1 and then he just got the ball taken out from beneath his feet and there was no one back. And then it was just like, I think it was Son who was through on goal and just easy goal. And then that was it. So Jorginho's got a mistake in him. Partey definitely has a mistake in him.
Oh, so you've been on Partey.
Yeah.
You've been on his case.
Yeah, well, I don't like him for a variety of reasons, but it's sticking to his on-field actions. They're not fucking brilliant either. So he's such a liability, unfortunately, because when he does play well, he looks great, but he looked so slow. He looked very slow in the Villa game, which got papered over by a ridiculous long shot goal against Emi Martinez. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, he just hasn't looked brilliant. He's not the player that we signed. And, you know, at this point, he's not meant to be a starter. We've grown past him. Our centre midfield should be Odegaard, Rice, and Marino, which is a ridiculously creative midfielder followed by two absolute maniacs at winning the balls. So we're not going to have that. So it's just, we're going to lose midfield duels. Havertz is not good at winning duels, which is why I would probably prefer him to be up top and have Trossard in the midfield. But also Trossard's a maniac at finishing in the box. So who knows? Who knows?
You said it was going to draw. What score prediction? 2-2 then?
Again, 1-1. Yeah, same thing I feel about the Bournemouth-Chelsea game, 1-1 2-1. If I allowed a little bit of bias, I think we scraped this 2-1. I think we should be able to score 2, and I just have to pray that we limit Spurs to 1 goal. I think they'll get a goal. It'll probably be a stupid penalty or something like that because it's at Spurs, and there's always a penalty in the North London derby for one team.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be, just hope and pray that we don't make the mistakes. Because I think if we don't make this sounds like common sense, but if we don't make mistakes, I think we will win the game because I think we're better at them at scoring goals, and I don't think they can create an opportunity to score of their own merit against our back four.
That's fair.
So unless we really fuck it up and our defense gets caught off guard, which they have done a couple of times so far this season, then it's just pray to God that David Raya is still in ridiculous form. But yeah, that's all I have about the Prem. Any other games you wanted to talk about, Brad, in the England side of things?
Let's see. Anything that tickled my fancy? Yeah, I like Aston Villa -1 against Everton. Outscored them 4-0 at Villa Park last season. I think this Everton team's worse. I actually think next week is when we see Sondheim get sacked after they drop points to Leicester.
Wow, that's early.
This team's just not good. They're going to probably start 4 straight without a win. They're just in a bad spot, right? Like just this tough fixture here. They've been shut out by Aston Villa since 2019 7 times, lost 7 matches at Villa Park. That's just, for me, I'm just going with a big bounce back effort from Villa. Not that they've needed a bounce back, but you get what I'm saying. I think this is one where they'll be able to breathe, let their head down. I just gonna love the fade. I didn't want to get like exotic. I didn't want to play like Aston Villa money line and over 2.5 or any of that nonsense. I just took -1 because if they win this by 1, like I don't care about what the scoreline is. I'll just get my money back.
Fair enough. Can't argue with that. That's a good price. Where'd you get that?
That one I got.
Is it some random made up book that I don't have?
On offshore, but it was available on BetUS. But I guess that's an offshore too. So
it is. I was like, don't let the name fool you.
I don't even know what legals do the Asian lines nowadays. Oh,
DraftKings. DraftKings has Asian lines.
Bet365 has the Asian lines.
Well, I can't fucking get that in New York.
I
don't feel like going to Jersey for that.
No.
But no, DraftKings has Asian lines, so I'll shop it around there. Well, I guess I can't really shop it around. I will look at it, and if I like it, I'll take it. I'll compare it to Bet Rivers, which also has Asian lines, but my cap is fucking $1.19. Like, okay.
You can get a lot on the lines.
Yeah, god damn it. But yeah. Alrighty, let's move over to La Liga. A couple of games that I think are really interesting, mostly because Madrid are actually priced somewhat betterly. That's not a word, but that's you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's Sociedad against Real Madrid. Real Madrid are playing away from home, but they are only, quote unquote, -160 or -165 on the money line. That team total is like almost even money. It's just like, okay, fair enough. I am not sure how I feel about this one, but I do think Madrid will get a good result here. I think.
My only thing about that one is how the Brazil match was the last match of the day on Wednesday.
Yeah, well,
you have Rodrigo and Vinny who both aren't going to train on Thursday.
Yeah, but you know what? I think they'll play. Also, apparently Jude's back in training. Why they would rush him back for this game, I don't know, because it's just like not worth it.
Yeah, just see that. I see the alert right here that Jude is back in training.
Yeah, but like when you've got, when Real Madrid played there, they play on Tuesday. They play Champions League at home against Stuttgart on Tuesday. So why rush him back for an away game against Sociedad?
He's not going to play. He's not going to start.
Okay, well that makes sense. Maybe they give him a couple of minutes off the bench, but honestly, leave him, rest. You got Champions League. Go,
Champions League, way more important.
Go focus on that. So I mean, this is an interesting one just because it's rare to see Madrid priced, fairly reasonably. Now, to be fair, they are away and they haven't been super dominant, but it's just kind of nice to see. And depending on who they start, I might take their team total over 1.5. They tend to get there in the end, and what's good about that is if Sociedad score first, Madrid will go and equalize, and then they'll probably score a 90th minute winner. So,
yep.
And if Kubo starts, take Kubo props because I believe Kubo is a ex-Madrid academy player. Ooh, and he might start up top. He's like either plays on the wing because like they've been doing like a 4-4-2 recently. So if he plays like an outside mid, don't like it as much. But if he plays up top, yeah, give me first half shots, baby. Gotta love that. And then we have Girona against Barça. And it's at Girona, but as we all kind of know by now, this Girona team looks terrible.
Horrible.
And Barcelona look ridiculously good.
Yeah, I think you either bet Barcelona money line or you just drink the juice and take Barcelona team total over 1.5.
I think Barcelona money line at like -120 to -130 is very good. I'm looking at FanDuel right now; it's -130. And it's just like, yeah, okay. Barcelona have won all 4 of their games so far in the league, and Girona look terrible. So why wouldn't I take that? Seems
horrible.
You say that, but then every time it's the same thing with fucking Juventus. They do the same thing where you get a nice bettable money line away from home, and you're like, they should really win this, and then it's like the stupidest draw possible.
Yeah, I'm gonna be waiting. I actually want to I hope Girona have a good result here because I want to fade them in Champions League.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're gonna suck in Champions League. I think we all know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, I didn't have anything else for La Liga, but I looked at the other leagues, and honestly, there are no real games anywhere else that I would love to talk about. There are some interesting ones.
No.
I want to watch Dortmund against Heidenheim because Heidenheim are top of the Bundesliga right now. But I don't have any leans for it. If my boy Jamie Gittins starts again, he's shortened his double-barreled name. He's going by Gittins instead of Brino Gittins. Yeah, Jamie Gittins rolls off the tongue much nicer. So
yes, it does.
If my boy starts, then and if the Bayern loanee at Heidenheim, Paul Wanner, who I call Paul Wanko, which is much more fun. But Paul Wanner's got two or 3 goals already in the season and a bunch of assists. He's an absolute baller, and of course he belongs to Bayern because everyone good in the Bundesliga will eventually belong to Bayern. Yeah, it's if you don't belong to Bayern already, you will do one day. Literally. Yeah, but he's a baller, so I'm going to watch that game, but I don't really want to talk about it. Frankly, I'm looking forward to the Champions League games on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
The Champions League games are really fun. I already started kind of handicapping some of them. I'm excited.
This weekend, I think I'm going to watch the North London Derby, but rather than watch games that I have money on, I'm going to start diving into the shots props for the guys that are playing in Champions League, but playing domestic leagues that I can't bet on in New York, so I don't see them. I'm not exposed to them on a weekly basis.
Oh yeah,
that's how I found Artukoglu because I can't bet the Turkish league in New York, so I just didn't really know about him. But then I saw him in Champions League, and I was like, oh, let me dive into that. I kind of want to get some. We've got a month's worth of data from these leagues, so I'm gonna go dive into those. See, find my couple of shooters for each team, and then. So I'm not caught off guard. And if I catch a good number, I could be like, all right, let's hit the ground running on these guys. We get 8 games rather than 6. So, these group stages are going to be absolute fire.
I'll say this. I can't believe that Liverpool are just -105.
To beat Milan?
I don't care that they're playing in Milan.
The San Siro is not scary for AC Milan right now.
No, they suck.
Mm-hmm. Although to be fair, you might get a better number because Milan play Venezia this weekend. So if Milan
they win,
and if they win at home, which to be fair they should, then maybe a bit of money comes in on them against Liverpool at home, and you might get a better number. So
you're right. I should wait.
We'll see. But yeah, honestly, anything remotely close to even money on Liverpool money line is gorgeous. And then we have a rematch of the Champions League final. We have City against Inter, and then we have Atalanta against Arsenal, which I am shitting myself for. Because I don't know who's going to be healthy for it. Yeah, so annoying. But, there's not really much I can say about it, betting-wise, just because I don't know who's going to be there. I'll probably take Saka first half shot, but that's not a surprise to anyone. And then Maybe I'll take the under in City Inter. Like, because it was 1-0 the last time they played.
Yeah,
But also that was 2 years ago, so who knows?
I think it's going to be low scoring too. Like this Inter team is just going to play so slow so they don't get exposed.
Yeah. We'll see though. We'll see how quickly that first goal comes.
Yeah.
I can't wait for Champions League, Brad. All these games, now we get, I know it's like, people are complaining because it's like they can't make fun of teams playing on Thursdays anymore, but we have Champions League on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And do you know what? Purist tradition aside, I like that. I'm here for more Champions League. So, and we get 8 games, so I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. Alrighty. Anything else you want to talk about before we say goodbye, Brad?
No, I'm good, man. This was a fun episode.
Beautiful. Alrighty. Well, what do you want to plug before we wave goodbye and maybe do a little kissy goodbye too?
Yeah, make sure you guys follow me on X at MrBradThomas. Go to NBCSports.com. Premier League betting power rankings should be out tomorrow evening.
Will that be this evening when our episode airs?
Oh shoot! Yeah, it'll be out this evening.
Nice. There you go. Don't forget.
Friday evening.
There you go. You guys can follow me on Twitter at FIFA Brit. And if you haven't signed up for Gold Boys already, you can sign up at goldboys.com. Brilliant time to sign up. And thank you to the Gold Boys Network for continuing to host this podcast. Brad, lovely to chat with you. Looking forward to having the real soccer back. And of course, we get Champions League next week, which I can't fucking wait for.
Oh, yeah.
Best of luck with all your bets. And to everyone at home, thank you for tuning in. If you aren't following the podcast, go ahead, drop us a follow. If you're feeling generous, give us a 5-star review as well. We will see you guys next week. Best of luck with all your bets. Good luck this weekend. We will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.